Welcome back to the Dave Gold Evolve podcast, where industry leaders in the spiritual dating and business world help you truly evolve your life. Now welcome to your host, Dave Gold.
Yo guys, quick break from the podcast to give a shout out to our two sponsors. First, go to Self Love Army on Facebook for a truly eye-opening experience. And then go to Real Life Vibes with a Z on Instagram or YouTube to awaken your subconscious mind. Now back to the episode.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dave Gold Evolve podcast. This is an awesome episode that we've got for you with Tinashe Chaponda. He's from Zimbabwe originally, and he's the CEO of Sosani, a global influencer agency. So thank you so much, Tinashe, for coming on board.
Oh yeah, definitely. And thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Amazing. So where in the world are you today, Tinashe?
Currently, right now, I am in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. Yes, I'm currently here, but I'll be moving about a couple more times throughout this year.
Okay, and it's funny because I remember we connected over, someone made a post on Facebook and you thought that it was, I guess good intention at first. And then I didn't really think that way. And then I saw the comment that you made where you kind of stood up for, yourself and what you thought was a bad message. And it's kind of interesting. I saw another one of those same occurrences happen today where someone, you can call them white knight or whatever you want, but stood up for something that they saw on a Facebook post. Okay. And this could be across any platform. Yeah. And people then will try to shame that person. So before we get into your backstory, which I'd love to talk about, how about you give us your opinion on what went down and how you see that happening? Because I know you're very active now on social media and you've got a lot of other, influencers that you see and probably these occurrences come up. So what are your thoughts on standing up for your ideals on social media?
Yeah, overall, I'm not really much of a commenter, you could say. That morning, it was just, I think this year in 2020 is just one of those years where you start to really not necessarily pick sides, but more start to realize that like your voice does matter. I'm typically someone who doesn't really like to engage in social media commenting at all, honestly. But something about that post was very manipulative the way it was structured, when it comes to the whole BLM thing. It was a business person who was trying to, in a way, be sarcastic, I guess you could say, in a way. And it was something to me, I felt like I just needed to say something, and I usually don't really say anything at all. I said what I had to say. They started commenting and I just left. I didn't even read any of the comments after that. I was like,
Tinashe left the chat.
Yeah, I pretty much said what I had to say. I was like, hey, I see what you're trying to go for. But then when I looked at his profile, his intentions from the post did not match his values from his profile. So I realized, okay, this is one of those clickbaity, trying to, stir up some race stuff, and I'm not trying to say stereotypical white guy or whatever, but it was just one of those things I felt like I just needed to say something, especially coming from being an immigrant here in the United States for 2 decades now, right?
That's what I was going to say. You're from Zimbabwe originally.
Yeah.
And now you're living in America. So talk to me about that. What is that like? And what have you experienced?
Yeah, really until this year, it's not necessarily that you feel a sense of silence while you're as an immigrant in a different country, but you also have to remember you are a guest in this country, right? So just typically me, in the corporate world or growing up, you get taught that you focus on what you have control of, right? Schooling, working, really building your network and community. So with that, you kind of, try not to bash too much into certain things, right? Just because at the end of the day, I am a guest here and I know that, right? So, but it was just one of those things in 2020. I was like, you know what? I'm going to stand up. Everyone's standing up this year. I'm going to say one thing or two and then, was it something? Hold on. Yeah, so basically, obviously, I moved here to the United States when I was very young. I was like 7, right? But just having my family in Africa and obviously being more vocal in your home country, and even just being in Zimbabwe where the government is very, it's not say dangerous. So you have this form of voice that you can say obviously there. But me being in the United States and just the whole BLM thing, just racial inequality in general, growing up in a way, I saw it, but as immigrants, think about it. I'm coming to this country. People are telling me that people with my skin tone, right, are seen as, 30% likely to go to jail. There's all these negative things against people who look just like me. But the difference is I'm from, Africa and they're from here, even though they are from Africa, but they're obviously born in the United States. So in a way, early on, I separated myself from like, hey, I'm an immigrant, I'm an African American, right? Because of just the way society, it was almost like a survival tactic, you could say, right? So throughout the years, I always, voiced my opinion more in terms of immigrant values, but then I was very blinded from the fact that regardless if you're from Africa or you're from the United States, you're still black, bro. Like you're still, so there's things, so it took until really this year. And I guess you could say stereotypical, not that I was fully whitewashed, you could say, but I knew you could say how to tighten up, right? I knew my role, quote unquote. But this year, 2020, was when I really broke through those blinders and started to realize like, hey, I need to unite with people the same color, brothers and sisters, I guess you could say it. I'm not gonna go full Wakanda on you right now, but the overall thing is I had the privilege, of growing up with every type of race, from white, black, Hispanic, whatever it is, right?
Where was that?
Here in
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, I would say it's very, I was a very white, I guess, liberal college city, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had the opportunity of doing that. So just going through that through college, interning at, for example, 2 different corporations, one where I was the only black person in there out of 60 people. And I knew it, but I was still very blinded at that time, right? So I just kind of like joked around about it. But then when I went and interned at Goldman Sachs in New York, it introduced me to diversity in every level, no matter the color, no matter the race, no matter the gender. And you see the performance is like that for everybody. So that was one of the first instances interning at Goldman that really started to make me peel my blinders. But it was until 2020 really when I felt like I needed to stand up. So I didn't go crazy full blown videos X, Y, and Z, but I started conversation, right? I started conversation with other people that were kind of like me, black people who you could say are the Oreos of this generation, right? So I had more conversation with friends about, hey, we need to start, being ourselves. Let's put down our white voice. Hey sir, how's it going? Let's retire the white voice. Let's actually start to embrace who we are more and do that. And that's kind of what, from a leader perspective, I've really done and had the privilege of working with people in my team that have helped me through that transitionary period for myself, right? So yeah, that's pretty much how you and I had met, was through that status, through that. But overall, I'm not really much of a Facebook commenter in general. I feel that action speaks a lot louder than words, right? In terms of, I'm not gonna necessarily sit there and discuss how we're gonna make change. I'd rather go get in meetings, meet with kids, like do the school conference things that I used to do pre-COVID, right? I used to do a lot of speaking engagements at middle schools and things like that. But yeah, I'm very action driven. It's just that morning I woke up and I saw that status, man. I had to say something.
It triggered you. There's certain things that trigger us, and you know what? That triggering can evoke a lot of emotion, and it can create a lot of connection or disconnection. Okay, where you want to disassociate yourself with one person or party or belief system, and then you want to associate yourself with another party or belief system, and like minds then start to come together. So, in the end of the day, whether that post was right or wrong, it brought, us together, which is really cool. So you were working in Goldman Sachs. So you were studying finance
Actually, no, not at all. So it's funny that you bring this up, that we're having this interview today, because actually 6 years ago. So pretty much what happened, I started this nonprofit about 6 years ago, like today, actually around this time. And through basically like connecting students with volunteering opportunities, and I grew and scaled it within 3 years to where like Derek Jeter donated $15,000 within 2 years. We had over 800 volunteers and 25 nonprofit partners. So through that, that's what got the attention of Goldman Saks, right? So I was actually in college, 4 different majors. I was like HR major, marketing major, management major. I changed my major every year depending on what my nonprofit needed, right? So the first year I was a management major. So I learned about organization charts and the people you got to have. So I'm sitting in class going to the nonprofit is called Focus Kalamazoo. So most kids would, write down notes, do this with the company. I would
What was it called? Focus what?
Focus Kalamazoo.
Focus Kalamazoo. Okay.
Yeah. So essentially I'm in class writing, do this with focus. So, hey class, this is ERP systems I'm learning in college. I go and say, okay, focus, do ERP systems. So I'm learning how to do this. So then I ended up becoming a marketing major the second year because we started getting a lot of attention. But I was like, how do I sustain this attention? Let me switch majors. I go to marketing, right? So the way I ended up at Goldman was actually through obviously networking. And I ended up actually going into their human capital management division. And I was part of Goldman Sachs University, which is their internal training for their internal like employees. So I was working on programs for the top tier, high performing Goldman Sachs employees. So I'm like learning how Goldman trains their most highly like effective people. And it's like really, I'm like, okay, even at Goldman at this stage, this is how they train their people, right? So
and what is that like? Is it like a really strict and like high pressure?
Actually,
are they, using more like, let's just throw you out into the deep sea and see if you sink or swim?
No, I mean, think of it like conferences and intranet. Like, so obviously they have their intranet, right? So the Goldman Sachs University portal. I can't say too much, but this portal where there's constant learning material, right? But then they constantly did conferences for the internal people. So you go for like a week straight training, right? So I'm seeing like, okay, it's pretty much the same concept as college, but within a company, right? But then you start to see, and I start to work with I'm working with Ivy League people. Like I'm the first student till this day, till this record, I'm pretty sure, okay, it's been a few years, maybe somehow, I'm the only student who was at my school, a current student, and got an internship at Goldman Sachs, right? So even my counselors, I remember the day I came in, I was like, can you help me with this interview process? They were like, no one has ever gotten an internship at Goldman Sachs. We can't help. Like literally like my school. So it was very interesting, but that's how I led there. But I obviously got the internship. I got to work with people from Harvard, Columbia, like all Ivy Leagues, right? Like those were my best friends at that time. And basically I ended up not going, like I got the return offer, but then I didn't take it because it started to make me realize like, wait, if one of the biggest companies in the world want me, what does that say about me? And then it's funny because most people would think you need that to affirm and get that affirmation. But for me, it's, oh, you messed up, Goldman. You just told me how valuable I am. Let me go do what I want. You know what I'm saying? So that's what led me to basically come back to Michigan, denied that, go back to Michigan. And I just said no to my internship, like the returning offer. Yeah. Then I jumped into social media doing comedy videos. So imagine being this like business oriented nonprofit kid, gets this, internship at Goldman, working in Manhattan, come back to my home small town and go, I want to do YouTube videos, like comedy sketches. So, I transitioned there. It was a very hard transition.
How long ago was this? When did you start the comedy videos?
I started comedy videos late 2016. Late 2006. Was it 14, 15? No, late 2016 sounds about right. Yep.
It's like 4 years ago. 4 years ago, you were making comedy videos.
4 years ago, I was doing the whole comedy videos on Instagram, trying to do trends, but because I had that business mindset, I'm over here organizing actors, I'm organizing, right? And then that led me into going, you know what, I want to start a business. And I called it Sosani back then, Sosani Studios. So it's comedy studios. That led me into getting a deal with Plato's Closet to where I got the deal myself. I did the writing, the directing. I was the main character, and I even edited it.
And
Right.
Plato's Closet is a play or a show?
Plato's Closet is a national brand here in the United States. It's like a thrifting place for like Gen Zs and young millennials.
Okay.
So where you take your clothes, they sell it, buy it type of thing, right? It's a very popular brand here in the United States.
I should know this. I'm from Philadelphia, but I haven't lived in America for a while now. So maybe you're more American than me now.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I'm pretty Americanized, I'm not going to lie. But, I led into that, got that deal. And then I started doing smaller local deals. And then I was like, got caught into YouTube, right? So I've been doing comedy skits for about 2 years and didn't get paid from like it until I got the 2 deals, like, from Plato's. But then my friend calls me and goes, hey, I've been doing this YouTube reactions, and within 2 months, I already made $200 on YouTube. I was like, what? So then I like get on YouTube and I learned about K-pop, Korean pop, right? So
I was just in Japan. I learned about K-pop too.
Yeah, massive market. And so I ended up within a span of 3 months, I grew my YouTube channel to 25,000 subscribers, over 30 million minutes of watch time. And I went into it, and that was my first exposure of like trending and SEO, right? So I'm learning how to like optimize my YouTube videos. I'm getting videos at 100,000, 300,000 views. I'm organizing these like productions, like OK Tinashe Show, which then all of a sudden brands started to hit me up. Hey, you should place this in your videos. Hey, you should place this. This was different from the Plato's deal where I had to do a sales thing, right? But this time brands were coming to me. I'm like, what? So I'm getting product, I'm putting in my videos. I'm thinking I'm so cool. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm thinking I'm so cool, right? Yeah, I got a product, And then that's when I got assigned to a very well-known, massive talent agency, influence agency. And I won't say the name, but through that experience, I didn't feel like they really cared about me. It was more like I was the bottom tier and they were just using me to do videos about their main talent, right? And I'm just kind of like that. So I basically took that and I said, you know what? I want to go the digital marketing space. So now I went from, being in front of the camera, understanding audiences, to now I said, I'm going to transition Sosani and turn it into essentially Sosani Agency.
Now how much is this happening in the industry where, certain brands are just being used to promote other big ones and agencies are really taking advantage
all the time? I mean,
a lot of influencers.
A lot. And especially now with the TikTok era, think about it. You blow up today and you end up with 1 million followers. Yeah. You don't know your value.
I don't have 1 million followers.
Yeah, exactly.
I just got back on TikTok today because I had like an adverse reaction to that. But, it hasn't been my goal to get like millions or hundreds of thousands of subscribers or to like get the likes and the follows and that kind of stuff. I've been more focused on creating impact, but then I start to see that there are a lot of people doing that, but they're not necessarily happy. So
exactly.
Why continue with what you were saying?
Yeah. So basically they have the experience I had, right? Where think about, you're a creator. Most people are creating and they get a high off the views, right? You get the stimulation. You want to be famous. You think this is what fame is, right? But when a brand comes and you don't know your value, they say, hey, you want some free product? You're going to say yes, because no one has ever offered you anything before. So therefore, it's a sense of validation. You feel cool. You feel you're doing something, right? So because of that, essentially, when I first went over to the marketing space, I actually was running Facebook and Instagram ads last year. And then I also helped a friend with his video company scale to over 6 figures for his first time, and helped him like recruit employees and everything like that. But essentially, the reason that happened is these influencers are like let's take TikTok example, right? We have an influencer who in March was at 200,000 subscribers. Now he's at 1.9 mil. He was out here getting brand deals like that is like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say the price, but dumb brand deals, like you can say, free product, right? $100 posts. We're like, bro, you should be charging 1,000. And brands know that, right? But here's the thing. There's an influx of people trying to be creators right now. So we transitioned into Sosani Influencer Agency this past March 2020, because it was like the last 4 or 5 years were put together for me, right? I had my digital marketing experience. I had experience being a creator myself. I had experience building an organization that connects people, right? Students and volunteers, but now it's influencers and brands. Same concept, same methodology as I'm using from 6 years ago, I'm using now. And essentially is the fact that these influencers are doing it because it's a passion. When it's a passion, you don't see it as a career. So therefore you're not thinking of the business. Just like when I did it back in the day, it was a passion. But then there's a point when brands like right now are realizing that. So they're just sending out two things. There's the free product era right now, and there's the affiliate marketing era. The affiliate marketing, brands have no risk at all. Here's a link, use it or not. You know, if you use it, you don't. And then the free product is essentially brands have simple micro risk. But at the end of the day, one influencer can easily bring them massive amount of traffic. Like just one influencer, for example, for this campaign, brought in 10,000 new users for one of our clients in the span of 3 weeks, right, to their platform.
By wearing their clothes or by promoting it on their
promoting it. Yep, it was promoting on their TikTok, on their Instagram. We did like a little full package, like one influencer but multi posts. One person is able to bring that type of traffic. And the thing with the brands, right? They think that there's like multiple values that influencers bring, and it's one, the likeliness and the trust. Two is the content that they produce. Three is the traffic. Four is the sales or the opt-in or the conversion, depending if it's an app for downloads, right? A streaming platform or sales. But the thing is, the most things that brands don't realize is how to maximize their data, right? So where we have a lot of brands are like, I've worked with influencers before, but we didn't get as many sales as we wanted to, you know, X, Y, and Z. But I'm like, wait, so you got these initial sales. Did you have a pixel to track the data to retarget? No. Did you retarget? Did you take that new ad set and create new ad sets for your campaigns for retargeting? They're like, oh, no, because brands have to realize influencer marketing is very, very valuable, but because of a couple of things where the brands that understand are just either working with high tier influencers, or they're like I'm gonna go for the people who don't know what the hell they're doing, and I'm gonna send them affiliate links and free products.
So they're either working with the top tier or they're manipulating the lower tier.
Yeah, pretty much is how it was seen. But you know, from the brand side, right? They're like, but it's an equal thing if we give them commission, right? Like, here's a link, you know.
Justification there. If we're paying them something, like it's justified, like it's fine what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with affiliate marketing, right? I think it works if you're like a micro influencer who sees it more as a side hustle. But when you take people like us, an agency, an influencer agency that's taking these influencers and we're helping brands create an actual campaign. Like, so the campaign we did with HB King and our client Music Maker was, we think of it just like a funnel, right? You have awareness, consideration, conversion, nurture. So we had 8 posts. The first 2 to 3 were themed of awareness. The next set was considered. So literally the way he talked about the brand through the different posts changed as the funnel went. And you could see the results of their platform go like, okay, the first one, boom. Then the second one, higher. The third one, there was more for returning as well too. You see, so that's how you really do it, right? But from a brand perspective, it's really not such annoying, but you're dealing with people, right? It's not a platform like Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, TikTok ads, where you just click, go, hit campaign and start. You're dealing with people. So because of that, brands have either 2 things. Either they do a mass guerrilla marketing, email as many people as possible without bots, whoever responds, use the link or not, right? Or it's I'm gonna be more personable. The more personable takes more resources, a lot more, like, I guess, barriers of entry. But once an influencer loves you, they're with you for life, basically, right? It's you maintaining it. So there's definitely 80% of the industry is more on the mass guerrilla marketing approach. Only maybe 20% or really 10% is really focused on building those relationships, right? Partnering up with influencer agencies as vendors. Typically, you're getting more brands that really know what they're doing. So for us coming into this industry, I'm coming in from not only a aspect of, we know marketing brands, we can help you, but we're also creators, like we used to be creators, right? So we literally understand both sides, and we really bring the human aspect of influencer marketing to brands so they can understand these are people. You can't slave them. You can't slave them, like post, like that's not how it works. So the idea and the problem that we're solving is that essentially brands and influencers don't know how to establish a sustainable transactional relationship between each other. And that's what we're here to do, is create that relationship, but then make sure it's sustainable. The other aspect is we really want to protect our influencers, right? Meaning you have some brands, I'm not going to say who, where you see all these influencers and every single post has that brand's product in it. And the influencers are like, we're getting paid and it's awesome, but it's destroying their brand, their influencer brand.
It's watering down the influencer, and then
Yeah.
less people are attracted to it because it seems like it's just a sales pitch for that,
Constantly.
that product. Okay.
Yeah.
And people are no longer interested because they've lost the authenticity. They've lost that personal touch. So if it's not kind of just like something that is smooth that you just kind of work in to the video and it's too in your face, then people are no longer attracted to it.
See, exactly. And we see this all the time, and brands are in it for, we need results now. They're not thinking, how can we take these influencers and work with them 10 years from now, right? So they're doing mass production that, like, these are the smart ones, right? And it's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, you're an influencer, you're getting paid, that's awesome. But will you be here 2-3 years from now? That's the real question, right? So we come in and we work with influencers to basically help them 360, right? We're doing everything from not only helping them get brand deals, we're helping them with their brand development. So we're helping them strategically go, okay, you want to drop a new series again. Let's see how you can incorporate future brands, right? So do this series first. We'll take this to a brand. We'll pitch a series to a brand, right? And then we focus on brand deals, career development. And what's really important with us is the personal development of the influencer. So we do everything from mental health initiatives with our influencers, where once a week they have a mental health day. We also do financial literacy, because we're getting some of these kids are 16, 18 that we're working with, and we're getting them money, like thousands of dollars, right? So as an influencer with a lot of money, you need to be sustainable. You don't want to be a washout, right? You want to be sustainable. So we help them with connecting them with a financial advisor who's a partner with our company, right? So they can actually understand how to plan and actually develop themselves.
Not spending that on drugs and parties and clothes and
fancy
cars and shit like that, but actually investing that into their future.
Exactly. So that's what we're here for, right? Where you see this massive pull, like especially in the music industry right now. You see this idea of own your own masters, right? Start your own thing. You have Roddy Ricch starting his own line of like juice, you have these different people. You have Kanye going crazy now saying, give me my masters, right? So the new era, the independent era.
I don't even think it's new in necessarily the music industry, because you've seen Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and all these guys come through, and then they have their own brands and their own clothing design, things like that. What we see now, though, and that's something that I think the reason why you're highlighting it is that there's these kids, who then start making a lot of money, whether they're playing a video game on Twitch or throwing up videos on TikTok or YouTube, and then they don't know what to do with it. All right. And it might not only be kids, that might be, guys or girls that are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they still have never had that kind of money. So their financial literacy is at a pretty low point. And I'm sure some of the people that you work with might not have even finished a college degree. Finished high school.
Exactly. Like one of our influencers graduated high school and went full-time influencer. We signed him. So he's going full-time with this, right? We have another influencer that we just signed literally 2 days ago, who's about to end his junior year in college right now, junior or sophomore, and he's about to take a year break. We have another one who's thinking about ending his freshman year in college to go full-time with it. And think of, it's not like we're telling these kids, stop going to school. It's that they come to us, we start to show them what they can do, and they go, wait, wow, maybe I shouldn't so we open them up and we give them structure, and all of a sudden they realize holy crap, I can do this more. And we're we give them the resources, and it's up to them how much they maximize us, right?
You basically provide them that bridge, and you say, listen, you don't have to walk over it, But if you do walk over it, on the other side, there's a lot of potential opportunities. Now,
Yeah.
with those opportunities, you need to be careful how you then resource them, how you distribute them, because before you know it, all those opportunities could be gone, and
Yeah.
that bridge going back to the other side might be gone as well. Okay,
See,
so
exactly.
you got to be really careful, taking that that bridge to that other side. But some of them, they see it and it's just too good. It's like the college kid who knows that he's going to be in the first round of the NBA draft and he's got 2 more years left in college. And he's like, listen, I just got to go to the draft. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to get,
Yeah.
start my
Yeah.
career. Why wait? Why not start now? So
Yeah, exactly.
let's talk about it. So, like, first off, what would you say to, if there's any influencers? I don't know how many influencers listening to my podcast. Okay, most of the guys that are listening to my podcast are men and sometimes women that are interested in improving their business or their dating lives. But if there are influencers that are listening to this, what would you say that they should be wary of
Yeah.
when going into a brand deal?
I would say understand your value and understand how to build relationship with brands. Meaning, there's not like understanding that it's a two-way street, right? Where the first relationship that you have with them will dictate moving forward. Meaning, you need to do your research, understanding how much on average that you're worth, and it's simple negotiation stuff. So they email you, you say, "Hey, what's your budget?" They're gonna ask you, "What's your budget?" Then you're gonna go, okay, what all do you want? And essentially what you want to do is be able to, the easiest way to increase your value is by having social proof. Meaning if you have no brand deals, go out of your way and get some affiliate. I only say this now because you're doing it probably by yourself. If you have no zero experience, right? The fastest way is to build your portfolio, right? So you can either do two ways: by signing on with an agency that basically does all the selling for you, or two, if you're by yourself, you have nothing, essentially do the initial thing, which is just create sponsored content somehow yourself, either by yourself, or if you want to do the affiliate thing, whatever. I would just say only do it not with the intentions of making money, but with the intentions of getting your portfolio up. So you have a little simple deck. Here are my brands I've worked with, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The views I got. And then, so you want to get gear up doing that. So you do that two ways, either by gearing up, by doing the free approach to stack up a little. All you need is 4 brands, 4 brand examples, or you know how to sell your platforms, meaning have a deck that has your number of audience, your average monthly, views, engagement, easy way to test it out. Have a link tree in your bio so you can see how many clicks you get per month, right? So generate a proof of concept via numbers. You need numbers. 2, when you're looking at working with a brand, understand that the ones that are going to be coming to you with the commission and X, Y, and Z, if you're going to take that approach because you want a little bit of money, do it with limited thinking. I'm going to go in, I'm going to do it. And what's really important is demand your results. Say, if I want to do this, make sure they put in the agreement, they will provide you with the results that you brought via website traffic, via clicks, via downloads, via everything. Because we deal with a lot of influencers. When we sign them, they've had all these brand deals in the past, and obviously they were undervalued. But I'm like, you have any results? Oh, no, they never gave it to me. They never gave it to me. It's like,
Yeah,
you need
they don't
that.
know what actually happened when they signed that brand deal, and then they've
Exactly.
got no proof going on and trying to ask for a better
Higher
brand
ones.
deal and more
Exactly.
money next time.
Exactly. So I would definitely say, like, you need to always put in the contract that will provide you with the results that you got within the 72-hour time frame of your campaign, quote unquote, right? And also ask for a trackable link. Either if they don't provide you with a trackable link, make your own. Go to bit.ly.com/ whatever the campaign's called, right? And make your own. It's free. bit.ly.com. Make one of those, bit.ly, whatever it is, right? Make one of those and start to focus on your numbers, right? 2, if you're gonna do that approach, make sure that you actually have a page that's actually doing stuff, right? Where the issue I had in the beginning with my first set of comedy videos, like back in the day, 2016, was I had passion, and then there was a point where I was trying to get viral. There's nothing wrong with trying to get viral, but if you don't actually find your it factor, it took me 3 years of doing comedy videos before I fell upon K-pop. which then I just skyrocketed so fast. I was like, okay, this is it. Got the numbers packaged together, and it's like, okay, I'm hopping over, right? So you have to be going into it with the value-driven mentality to actually grow a freaking following. Focus on getting your platform to 2, 3, 400,000 subscribers, followers via TikTok, the easiest one to grow first. Compared before you start looking for brand deals. Why? Because if you start doing brand deals too early on, you will lose authenticity of your audience base, and you will actually end up losing time that you need to do, because people don't realize being a creator is a whole new talent. It's a whole new skill. You have to learn how to produce content effectively, produce it consistently, understand how to read your audience, understand what your audience wants. The first set of videos you do might end up changing for the next set. It's okay if you're going viral for a little bit and you go down for a little bit. It's just like any product, anything, you're testing it in the market. And like right now we're going through an influencer right now who it needs to have a transition in his content. The reason he got viral is now it's gonna keep him sustainable, right? So he's really having a hard time to getting off these little viral things he does, because he knows he's gonna tank for a while. But we're like, listen, you're gonna tank for the next 2-3 months. But remember, you got to 1 million because not just because you were just leeching off or taking off that viral trend, but because there is an it factor about you. Now we need to focus on finding that pure it factor about you individually. So it's okay when you have dead times. It's just, are you listening to your audience? Another thing, your answers to what to create is in your comments. It's funny how like the moment when people start to hit 400, 500K, 1 million, they decrease their engagement on comments. They think they're famous all of a sudden, right? And then they tank like 1 million to like 1.5. You see a lot of people tank on TikTok. Is because they got too cool, thought they were the shit, and then all of a sudden they forget how they got there. They're followers. So people need to read your freaking comments and engage, not some thanks, cool, awesome. I don't think you realize when I was on YouTube, I would spend 4 to 6 hours a day commenting. I would do the thing, post it, comments, and the more you comment, right, the algorithm is just going crazy. Like I was making conversations, like to the point where I would then involve my audience in my content. Like TikTok, for example, already does it with the feature, like how you can make videos off of a comment.
I'm feeling Gary V vibes right now, who I love. Who he's always saying like comment, and engage with your audience.
It's funny, like because I actually met Gary V. Like I'm on his YouTube actually. It's funny as hell. I'll actually send you that interview. So I'm a Gary V fan, but I could say I've graduated from Gary V University, if you know what I mean.
Talk to us about that. What about Gary V have you moved on from?
Gary V is a very good person if you're in the entrepreneurial, I'm trying to figure it out stage. But once you know what the hell you want to do, his content isn't necessarily as relevant on a daily basis, to where the majority of his audience members are like the people that are buying courses. It's just he doesn't offer courses. But you know that type of audience base that I'm talking about, like that type of like a course driven, very like
he's inspiring, you know, people of different races and genders and ages to actually start feeling enough and get started, you know, chasing after their dreams or whatever they want to do. Now he does have his own, you know, agency where I'm sure he works with bigger clients, but his content in and of itself, okay, is more for a mass audience to be self-aware, to love yourself, to not give a fuck what anyone else thinks, okay? And not get super caught up on the comments, whether they're positive or negative, and also to engage. But if we're gonna take it to the next level, what is the next level? You know,
next level is the content that Gary Vee stopped talking about back then because he got too big now, right? What is really like when he talks about like me being an immigrant, what got me into Gary Vee was an original content he talked about. Eat the shit. You gotta freaking grind. Don't stop. You better lose sleep, right?
Oh, that so the hustle content, the grind, hustle, eat
he had to stop that.
Work long hours, because the hustle mentality has gone away. Okay. When I first started, I was in a coding boot camp and they were like, if you could have any kind of business, what would it be? And I came up with this idea that it would be, today we hustle. and I would interview all these guys because I was really into Gary Vee at the time. And that's when he was doing it back in like 2016, 2017, right? And he was all about the hustle. And I was like, all right, it'll be Today We Hustle. And then after about a year, I had some people that were on board and it didn't really take off. And I said, all right, I can't do this. I can't be associated with the hustle culture. Now, what is in is the self-love, the self-acceptance, the authenticity. Okay. And honestly, I really resonate with it. I really resonate with that mentality. And I think that it's something that a lot of people, they misinterpret it. It's misunderstood. Okay. Because many times people fall into the trap of, how do I get rich fast? Okay. How do I get laid fast? But they lose the foundation, which is inside.
Yeah, exactly.
And that inner belief, where you start to feel acceptance, you start to feel love, and you start to understand, here's what I'm devoted to. And honestly, I probably have a feeling that a lot of the guys that you work with could use a lot of work in that, in that mentality as well. But if they don't do the grind, long hours, work real hard, they never get off the ground. They never get to the place that they're trying to get to. The thing is, when they get to that place, they will burn out or feel some kind of overwhelm if they don't balance it out with the, self-love, self-acceptance, and purpose mentality that Gary Vee is now, preaching all about.
And like, the thing is, like, with this content, right? When I first started, yes, I needed to figure out my purpose. I need to figure out that I'm confident in myself, that self-love thing. But there's a point where my foundation's set. I know what the hell I want. I know like what limits I can do, cannot do. I have basically trained myself to where I don't necessarily, it's not about reminding myself that they just love myself, whatever, is I have engraved myself with such a hard purpose, a hard passion, that now my biggest thing is the fact that the world is open to me and I want whatever I want. So now the next level I'm at, the reason I say the whole graduating from Gary Vee, because he's really well when you're starting and trying to figure it out and you have those like self-inflicting challenges, right? But once you but once you understand the core fundamentals of those, you don't need to watch Gary Vee every day anymore. Now I'm at a point where it's like, I need to grow my freaking business. I'm trying to get this to, multi-million-dollar business. It was at 0 in March and things are going already really good, like 0 in terms of the COVID happened, right? Yeah. We introduced the influencer agency. I completely made a massive pivot to start over. And I'm at a point now where it's like, I am trying to grow my company so massive. My internal is so strong now to where my next problems are, how can I be smart and scale? But what's most important is, because we're in the tech space, there's a lot of testing we have to do. So meaning either I do it or no one does it, right? So the reason I'm putting in
either you get it done or no one else fucking does it. And it's like literally when you're the CEO, when you're running the ship, okay, that guy that's scrubbing in the background, he doesn't really give a fuck about which direction the ship goes. You've got to take the responsibility. But with that being said, what is your purpose right now in your life with this business?
Yeah, I mean, it's my purpose. I clicked onto my purpose in 2014, and that's I am a community builder. Mm-hmm. Whatever I do, it's about building community. It's about connecting people. If it's students, nonprofits, influencers, brands, connecting with their audience, I build communities. And to do that and to do it really well, you have to spend a lot of time to understand 2 different perspectives to connect it, right? And because of that, the thing is, a lot of the content of it's not that I'm against self-love and take time. I take out, like, the thing is, I love what I do so much that my problem is taking a break. Not because I can't take a break, it's because I'm so passionate. When I take a break, to me, I can work this day. I'm working every single day. I've worked every day. I don't even know, for like the past month and a half. When I take a break, I go to sleep. I chat for 30 minutes. I go right back to work.
Tinashe, I'm the exact same way. All right. That people have been telling me this for months,
Yeah.
Dave, you got to take a fucking break. All right. You got to do nothing for a little bit of time. Like literally just take a day off or take a week off. And so tomorrow, that's my do nothing day. All right. I'm not even going to pick up my phone. It's going to be absolutely nothing. I'm just go out, go for a walk, have some nice food, sit, chill, meditate, breathe, maybe take a journal out, write some things down. But you already know what your purpose is. Now you just want to fulfill it. The thing is, how do you make sure that you don't get to a place where you get too frustrated or burned out with what you're doing?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So for example, nights and mornings, I'm at reflection. So I wake up every morning. And I typically about 45 minutes, I do a lot of reflecting. I go outside, go in the back, chill there for a little bit. Like it's very like some people feel like I need 3 days to a week. I just need a day, maybe. I need 30 minutes, right? It's about, I do I do little things every day to where I don't necessarily need a week vacation every year. So I'm taking my first vacation in February and I'm gonna go like Hawaii to hang out with my friend who's like in the woods. I'm like, that sounds cool, bro. I would join you in February, right? But I've been working nonstop all year and February will be the first 1 week break I've taken in years. But it's because I guess also the immigrant mindset coming here, right? To where I'm an immigrant in the United States with opportunity everywhere. That's like telling a kid, stop playing video games where they love to do it. Like stop playing soccer. Like, so for me, when it comes to burnout phases and that aspect, I know before it happens and I just basically do different things for it, right? Okay, I read a book. Okay, I'll read this. Okay, so I'll read a book for 15, 30 minutes. Woo! And then I'm in the shower. The showers is another form of meditation for me. So I have simple things I do on a day-to-day basis, which allows me to keep moving constantly, but I guess not constantly because
I feel your energy right now, even more than ever before on this podcast, which is amazing. And I also see that you are in a way embodying the Gary V of 2016. And I was just
I don't like to say it, man.
And I was just listening to him on Jay Shetty, all right? And he talked about it for an hour. And at the end, he said, like, I don't want to be associated with the hustle culture anymore. But at the end of the day, like that was where he started. And that is where you're at right now. And that we are all at different phases of our life. And we go through a certain phase where you got to be like, full foot on the gas pedal, go 100%, and then sometimes you got to ease off of it.
Exactly.
Now, what about these influencers though? How do you help them find balance? Because you don't want them to get burnt out. You know how to not get burnt out. You know what your purpose is. You know how to do business, build brands, build a community, which is something that I really resonate with. I built a mastermind now. I love connecting people. I love building a strong tribe of men right now. But what right now do you preach to the influencers that you work with so that they don't burn out?
Yeah. So for us, what we always preach for our influencers is having a mental health day
Talk to me about that mental health day for a second.
So essentially every influencer in our network has their own mental health day where essentially we don't hit them up. We don't hit them up about business. We don't try to have them do any type of work. They can hit us up if they want, but we don't do anything, right? That's the first thing. 2, we teach them and train them about comments and understanding that you could have 1,000 good comments, 1 negative comment that can completely shatter you. So we really focus on that supportive to make them realize they're commenting this because you're doing something that's making impact. And we remind them that they are, because influencers don't realize they're influencers, right? They're doing what they're doing. It just happens to be they have 1 million, 5 million people following them. So they sometimes forget the not responsibility or the throne that they sit on, but they're having so much fun being genuinely themselves. They forget that, whoa, I have 1 million people who watch me on a day-to-day basis, right? So we remind them that your brand is a business and you are still a person. So another thing we focus on is making sure that they never produce too much personal content, right? Don't have an issue happen and like with a breakup and tell too much. You can tell about the breakup, but leave certain aspects that leave you as a human being. When you show everything, you have nothing for yourself, right? So we really focus on making them strategically understand what to disclose, what not to disclose. Other thing is financial literacy, connecting them with our financial advisor, right? But most importantly, they're all in a group message with us, like iMessage, right? They each have an individual group message where they have me, a talent manager, the COO, and the talent. So they have 3 Sosani people in all the, so they can text us. I know everything about their family, boy drama, girl drama, right? So we're literally very close with them. But the main thing that we really preach is we focus on their goals, right? What do you want to do a year from now? What do you want to do 3 years from now? Hey, you said you're trying to do a multiple business. If you want to do that, let's make sure we got you on this call and so you can learn about business development. Here's a book. Learn how to win friends and influence people. Here's this, right? So we focus on their goals, understand them, and we have different checkups, right? So quarterly checkups overall, how are we doing? And we let them understand that you can have a goal of having 5 million followers, but why? How is this helping with what you just said? How you want to be an actor? You want to be a model? You want to be this? We can get you to 5 million followers, but what is it for? Oh, okay. So now when they're going and creating video and trying to create new innovative things, it's not for fame. It's I'm creating this video to get 5 million followers to then eventually go to a casting place so I can get into a movie. They start to see these numbers beyond just a follower count.
There's a higher purpose
Yeah.
than just the money and the followers and the fame, but actually having an impact and possibly creating a legacy in their life.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we focus on with them, right? We really focus on developing that for them and helping them create that actual, like, there's more to this, right? Because so that they don't end up where I was at, right? Where I was starting to make videos back in the day. And I started getting sad about, oh, I'm not getting the views I wanted. But then my happiness happened when I transitioned into marketing. My happiness happened when I was coordinating brand deals. I was like, that's what made me happy. It's like, okay, that's why I have to have X amount of followers. It's to do this, right? So we have like one influencer who wants to be a director. So we make sure always have actors in your content, right? Always do that. So we really focus on reminding them why they're doing it. We focus on the why, the purpose. But once they have that, they're freaking going. But then we have checkups with them. From my perspective, right? If you're listening, well, how can you preach mental health day, but you don't do mental health day? Because right, it's like someone could be preaching that. From my perspective, I do mental health day. It's just mine are at a point where I've gotten to a new level of, I guess, the grind, I guess you could say, where for me, I do it on such a daily basis, subconsciously, in the shower, waking up, listen to music.
You hate the Gary Vee example, but you really embody a lot of what he does and who he is. Okay, you probably learned a lot from him. That you learned the self-love and the purpose, and you incorporate that self-care into your life, whether that's taking a break, to go for a walk, to listen to some music, to read a book, and then before you know it, you're right back on it because you're on your purpose. All right. Because you know how to hustle and grind. You've got that immigrant mentality that is pushing you to higher heights. And you know what it is? It's also a break from entitlement. A lot of guys are super entitled, especially when they start getting the followers and they start getting the likes and they start getting the money. Okay. They're entitled. It's just going to come naturally. Like, I'm not going to have to work hard anymore. I'm not going to have to put out good quality. I'm not going to have to be original. Okay. I can just keep doing that viral content as an example that you said before. And that entitlement, all right, that, these marketers talk about as well is really dangerous. It comes up, especially in the young people. And it's very dangerous because it can leave them also kind of, disengaged and they don't feel aligned with what they're doing anymore. And this entitlement will really destroy you, and it may even stop you from getting started. So that is a big one, is the entitlement.
And especially going off of that, I think something beyond Gary Vee, my true teaching came from my dad. Now, I'm lucky in the most screwed up way possible when I say this, but I had to deal with us coming here, mom, dad, brother, us 4, my mom passing away when I was 13. Wow. Then seeing my dad work nonstop, building communities, right? Getting what we needed to be able to go to school. And the fact that seeing that is why I am the way I am. right? Because I'm not saying, oh, go have your mom die and you're gonna get right. But when you're at a young age and you lose your mother in a country where you have no family minus the people in your house, right? My whole mindset is different. I'm not, so for me, I'm here not because I'm trying to bring back resources to Zimbabwe. So for me, I work every day. I'm clocking in 100 hours. It's freaking amazing. I love it. Some people think it's crazy. I freaking love it.
I think you're crazy, but I love that it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
I love your energy
You know what I'm saying?
and your enthusiasm. And I
Because-
love the fact that you know how much impact you're creating in the world. And so what does it matter if you put in 100 hours or 120 or 150? It doesn't fucking matter as long as you love what you're doing.
Yeah, like my passion and fuel comes from I want to build cities in Zimbabwe. Like the goals I have are so massive that you can't do it in an average like mentality. Even when people give me advice,
crazy. Like,
you know,
Seal, you gotta be crazy.
You know, yeah, like there's like, not that I don't listen, but there's no one can, unless you are like an immigrant with a mom died with the exact life situations I've had. I know what I want, but I know what I don't know. And I know what skills I don't have. So I surround myself with people who fill those areas, right? But that's really why I'm so crazy, is because I came here seeing my dad doing that, a single dad, father, right? When I was 13. And he just got married last year, by the way. It's freaking awesome, right? And
Congrats.
He deserves it. You know,
Nice.
like it's awesome. He's like 53, 54, whatever he is, right? So like seeing him have to do that, making sure my brother and I were good, right? I'm like, now that I'm older and I see him like, dude, you did not, wow, he was a grinder. Like people had to tell me, dude, you realize you get this because your dad did this, right? And people started telling me like, yo, how did your dad do all of this? But that was my normal, was seeing my dad work that much. That was a norm to me. Like the fact that like he was doing it because it's a do or die. We have nothing here. We're building everything from scratch, right? So even though I have our company growing, I'm coming from a mentality of I have nothing. So as things grow, it doesn't change. It actually makes me go faster because I have more pieces to move, right? So which kind of, I think it goes back to the purpose, right? Where a lot of these kids are trying to find that purpose, right? Not everyone necessarily has that like bad mentality, but what I always focus on our influencers, what are your traumas? What's your traumas? Let's go over your traumas. Yeah, let's focus on that, because if they can understand their traumas and how that make them behave, you then, once you can secure that and you understand that, I know around this time, because my mom died in December, so she died December 19th, December 9th, her birthday was December 21st, then Christmas is Christmas, right? 25th, and then my birthday is the 4th. So I know around this time from October to about January, my emotions and shit like get all fucked up.
Wow.
Every year, right? So, and I've learned when I have trauma, I work more. So the reason I'm actually getting amped up right now is because psychologically my trauma is starting to think of my mom, which therefore my workload starts to go up, right? So I've learned this, so I know, okay, Tinashe, you're about to go grind mode these next couple of months. Don't hit a Kanye moment, go crazy. But understand, take advantage of this energy, right? But be aware for what happened, right? So I implement different things. I have checkouts with friends. Like I was just on a FaceTime before this with a friend of mine, right? His name is Prashant. He's all about calmness and chakras. That's why I'm going to Hawaii with him in February. But I also know that because I have this energy, I need to take advantage of it, right? Like every year, but I'll know when I hit about January, I'm gonna get super sad. I went for like a week or two, so I know what's coming up. I know my traumas, right?
You got talents, you got gifts, you got energy through the roof, and you've got a mission and a purpose at hand. You've got to take advantage of it. And the fact of the matter is, you know how to balance it better than most people do, which is really commendable.
Yeah.
You talked about the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. We talked about Gary Vee. Do you have any book or influencer or movie that you recommend to influencers out there?
Let me see if I can. Okay, right here. This book right here. This book changed my life. I mean, I was already doing it, but this is called Grind. So
Grind.
My financial advisor actually gave me this book before I went to Chicago.
Who's the author?
The author is Michael J. McFall. Okay. He is the co-founder of Big B Coffee. It started in Michigan. And I got this book this year, actually in March, right when COVID happened. And it's basically titled no bullshit approach to take your business from concept to cash flow. And this whole book basically talks about how, as the CEO, you're the cheerleader. When shit hits the fan, you smile. When things are great, you smile. Like, it all basically talks about, you better freaking make yourself so crazy that regardless of good or bad, you better smile. That's like, you better keep going. And it's, if you want to be like there's a point where you start to realize that I had that whole work-life balance phase like 2 years ago, where I tried to do the whole wake up. Okay, I gotta meditate, this, check. I gotta do the system. But then there's a point where you realize there's gonna be days where, like, we have clients in China where I have to take a nap at 6, wake up at 9, work from 9 to 3 a.m. That doesn't necessarily mean I can't get to wake up at 5 a.m. and do my thing, right? But then I might wake up right at 6 and go right into a meeting, but understand, okay, I didn't get to get my mental health thing, right? But then I start to realize sometimes daily to me is every 3-4 days. As weird as that sounds. Where some people,
it's not weird at all, because
you know,
I got into this, coaching, and I started to say to guys, like, what are going to be your habits? And they're not able to actually uphold those habits because everything is constantly changing. So instead, why don't you find shit that you want to get really good at, okay, that really falls in line with your purpose, and then you just do it all the time, all right? And maybe you need to, have one thing that you do once in a while, but for the most part, go all in, go hard, okay? Go hard on self-love, go hard on meditation, go hard on, prospecting, go hard on creating content, whether that's video, copywriting, go hard on learning, go hard on connecting, go hard on giving. And when you go hard on giving, then you can get just receive.
Yeah, exactly. And especially, I think if anyone's listening who's a business owner, the reason, like, so my nonprofit, right? When I left it, I actually stepped down because it was to the point where it now has its own board of directors and president. Like, something I started as an idea, they're on their 5th to 6th president right now. It's kind of crazy, right? But the issue I had when I did that was I was so grind focused that I forgot about my family. I forgot about mental expression. So when I left, I had a Kanye moment. I was like, I said, screw everybody. I said, screw Goldman. I'm going reacting. I hate everything corporate. I like grew my hair. I did all this crazy stuff, right? But now the right reason I'm able to do this is because I've turned my business to what I want, to where I know that I need to be emotionally expressive. So I tell my team, so this is happening. Like, I'm very, like, I don't hold back how some people are like, at work, I feel very work, and then I get home and I'm sad. I tell people at work I'm sad. Like, I create the environment that I want to work in, where if you're sad, everyone knows, okay, they're sad. But not like sad, like, oh, da-da-da. But I'm very expressive of what I feel. Yeah. The first time when I grinded, I held all that in. But now when I work, I'm who I am. I'm more honest. And because I live a more honest mentality, a lot of those stressors that people have because of work, it's because they're holding a lot of shit back that they realize if you just say it out loud in the work environment, it actually will make you perform better, but because you have to be professional.
Not only are they holding it back, but they have an adverse reaction to certain emotions rather than just loving all of their emotions, whether they're positive, negative, or anywhere in between. All right. So you could be in a state of suffering. You could be like, fuck, I love that suffering. All right. Or you show up to work in the morning, you're like, I'm so fucking tired, but I love that I'm tired. I'm going to get it done anyway. Or I'm in a great mood. I'm going to make everyone around me in a great mood. All right. We're going to get this shit done together, and we're going to rise, we're going to grind, and we're going to make it happen. And that's what I love about you, man.
Yeah. And especially because, like, a lot of the stuff I realized in business, the time I start to get quote unquote burned out is when, for example, right now, right, we just got our biggest client. And that client got us another client that's about to be our biggest client, all from the same people, right? So I'm actually starting to get sad right now because I'm doing a lot of internal operational stuff, campaign management. And I told my COO that, the co-founder, I was like, dude, like, I'm not in my zone, man. Like I see what we're doing. I don't like it. Like, I need to be out there again. Like, I'm a networker. So then we talked yesterday, and I was like, I'm going back and doing more sales again. Like I know I make my business do what I want when I want, if that makes sense. But so I know we have to get clients and create an internal system, right, and stuff to get it going. But now it's finally going. We have a chick that we chick. We have Aisa. She's super killing it, right? She never went to college, by the way, and she's killing it in our company right now. We just promoted her to talent manager. And now I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get into like that day-to-day kind of sad, like kind of annoying thing again. And now I'm like, okay, back to sales again. And all of a sudden, I'll go from here to here because I'm growing the company. I have the ability to go into different quote unquote divisions of my company, and what makes me happy. And I realize what makes me happy is one, restoring things, right? Fixing things. Right now, I've done the fixing. We're doing it. It's working. So I need to get out. Two, meeting new people. Okay, we got our biggest clients. Cool, guys, I'm not happy anymore because now they have the biggest leverage of our company. So let me go get 5 more fish like this, right? So now I'm transitioning over to sales again, right? So I'm so self-aware that you have to embrace your business, right? And I think a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with work-life balance, but when you realize that there's no such thing as work-life, it's about passion and living, it's a way different mindset, like what you said, right? Embrace the shit, embrace the happy, embrace the sad. So
don't just embrace it, but love it.
Yeah.
Really fucking love it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're going through hard times right now, love that, because just understand that on the other side of those hard times, if you have that positive mindset, is a breakthrough. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, if someone thinks that they're going to have a breakthrough by working with you and working with Sosani, who are they going to be and how are they going to reach out to you?
Yeah. So the biggest people to work with us are going to be brands that are, so I should have said this earlier in the podcast. So we focus on Gen Z and young millennials. So young adults, quote unquote. If you're a brand that's looking to hit that Generation Z, that young adult demographic, you are the key client, key brand to work with us. You're looking to increase your brand awareness, user generated content, sales, increase your downloads. We are the ones for you. From the other side, as an influencer, if you are someone who has minimum 1 million followers on a platform, you should definitely hit us up. We can help you really levitate your brand to the next level. And what that looks like is, working with you and to providing you with additional team and talents to help you with growing. So those are the two people that are essentially the key things. And especially if you're in the US, that's where our main market is. We have things going on in Africa, but if you're a brand trying to penetrate into into the United States, we are the ones for you. We're working with 3 brands right now that are trying to penetrate the US market, that we're doing campaigns for them and everything like that. So yeah, those are the people. And then overall, if you're just someone who just wants to talk marketing and wants to understand how to build your marketing agency in general. I've done everything from the running ads. I've done everything from the content creation. I've helped build a video production company, and now I'm working on influencer marketing. So just developing an agency, I can help, especially when it comes to processes. I love processes. That is actually, it's an admin day for me today. I get to work on cookbooks and Google Drive, restructuring. I'm so fucking happy. I'm gonna do that for a good 6 hours today. Call it good, take a break, do it again, So yeah, those are the type of people.
Okay. And now, final question that I ask most of the guests in the show. Let's say you can evolve your business in 1 year. What's it gonna look like in 12 months?
12 months. I can't tell you that. It's NDA stuff. Okay.
Give me a rough guideline of how you want to evolve your business.
We are going to be part of the new evolution of influencer marketing. That's all I gotta say. The new evolution of influencer marketing. We're gonna be on that front runner, and as soon as this podcast ends, I will tell you more about that, David. But I will say cough, cough, virtual influencers, cough, cough. That's all I gotta say.
And if you want to learn more about Tinashe and Sosani, okay, reach out to this man. You'll have his Facebook link. All right. You'll have the website under this podcast. And it has been a pleasure talking with you today.
Yeah, it's a pleasure talking to you as well.
Awesome. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Yeah,
From